All right. Hey, great to be with you guys. Look at this crew. Oh, hold on a second. I got my journal over here. Hold on. I need to pull some notes from that I have for you guys. Just 1 second. All right. Hopefully you guys are having an extraordinary day. I'm so excited to be with you guys. You know, one of the things I'm always reminded, man, I very well may be on my gravestone, and that is treat everybody you meet as if they're going through the most difficult moments of their life, and you're going to be right most of the time. And if there's anything that you can be kind. You know, as I was reflecting on this last week and looking at just all the different challenges and struggles and just the tough moments that people go through, we are in a business where we have to look like, we often act like, you know, we often try not to bring our home front into the business front, and we have to almost always look like everything is okay. But yet in reality, there may be a great deep level of struggle with someone, there may be a challenge with someone, there may be really deep challenges that are going on. And I think that applies not only to our clientele, but of course it touches the basis of not only our friends and our family, but frankly, anyone that we meet. So just a quick reminder on that, man, make sure that you're showing people a little bit of grace. Make sure that you talk to them from a place of care, concern, and compassion. You know, breathe that bright light, that energy that flows into a room or into a place where life is better because you showed up, that people want to be better because you showed up. And I remember that transition that I went through in my life. And it's not that I do it perfectly by any means, but it's something I strive to do, that people's lives are better because I showed up. I hope that it can be spoken of you as you move through your own life and you move through the challenges of your own life. You move through the great moments of your life, that you're always lifting up others to be better. So with that being said, let's jump into just a couple of things. There's about 1.4 million real estate agents in the country, 1.4 million. And yet, according to NAR, nearly 650,000 of them have not had a single home sale for the year of 2022. Now that is like, wow. So nearly half of the realtors in the entire country, according to NAR, have not had a single home sale for 2022. Now, no matter where your market is, whether it's the market that you're working in a smaller city, a smaller town, or maybe you're in a larger city with a lot of populace, the reality is that there are fundamentals to this business that we have to make sure that we're focusing on. We have to make sure that if we want to be highly successful, we have to take a step back and ask ourselves, what are those fundamentals? Now, look, people have asked me for years, whether it's that I'm doing a morning meeting, whether it's I'm speaking in front of agents, whether I'm doing a script or a role play, or we're talking about, you know, people's mindset, their goals, their disciplines, their strategies for business, or even the skill sets that they're trying to build. And every single one of those things on its, you know, initial, you know, view or speaking of, is sometimes we have this mindset that, well, I've already got that figured out. So the first thing I had written down today is this: the most dangerous words in the English dictionary, the most dangerous words are these: I already know that. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Do you already know that, as an example, to have a strong mindset? You probably do. And yet, there's another great message and a great statement, and that is this: Socrates is known for saying that learning is remembering. And what Socrates believed is that he believed that that essentially everything's already inside of you, and that learning is nothing more and nothing less than remembering. So when we're learning and we keep this idea that, man, I have not arrived, I don't have it all figured out, I'm looking to get to that next level in my business, I'm looking to produce at a higher level, I'm looking to even, we go through moments in our business lives and cycles where we're trying to survive, then we're trying to thrive, and we're often bouncing between those things of survival and thriving. And the more that we can move into the place of thriving, certainly life is calmer, life is more beautiful. Life allows us to help and to give to others. It allows us to take our time, our energy, and our talents, and of course, our resources like money, to be able to go do even more extraordinary things when we move into this space of where we're thriving in our business. So as you move through the fundamentals, let's just talk about a few of them. If learning is remembering, and you're on this call and you're listening, and from this call, you're saying to yourself, okay, hold on a second here. I'm going to act as if I'm a brand new licensee. I'm just starting out. I'm just getting started. I have so much to learn. Now, whether you've been in this business for 5 minutes or 50 years, just imagine if you came to the moment of today and moving forward, that you are open to learning, you're open to growing, you're open to new ideas, new concepts, and you're here to be reminded as to what you know the next steps are. Then what you start to do is you start to establish and you start to evolve into even a stronger and a greater leader. So as we move through just a few principles today, I just want you to make sure that you pay really close attention to them. Don't let that voice in your head get started with, I already know that. I've heard that before. Isn't he going to talk about something different? Isn't there more to this business? And the reality is there isn't a lot to this business. And yet, as simple as this business can be, because there is humanity involved in it, it can often seem and become very, very complicated, right? We can't necessarily control the outcome of another agent. We can't control the outcome of particular clients, buyers or sellers. We can't control every lending program, every credit decision that goes on. We can't control every avenue of this business. So then we got to come back and say, okay, wait a second here. If I can't control that, then what can I control? And you may say, well, George, I've heard you talk about this. Yeah, but are you controlling it? Are you really controlling the way in which you're maneuvering and moving your life? Are you controlling simple things like the time in which you wake up? Are you controlling the amount of calls that you make in a day? Are you controlling the number of people you speak to in a day? Are you controlling the number of appointments you make in a day or a week? Are you controlling your mindset, your belief system? Is it strong enough? Is it engaging enough? Is it to where you like, you know what? I am going to get my mind right. Are you controlling your energy? Are you controlling your activities by the number of hours or contacts, or like I just said, appointments being set? Are you controlling your day by making time to knock on doors? Are you making time for the fundamentals? Now, a week or so ago, I talked about some of my favorite agents, and some of those favorite agents, their names begin with, or their names are Brian Burnett, the Tina Hares, the Kathleen Brunos, the Jessica Terrys, the Amy Clarks. And you start looking at these amazing agents, these individuals that are making and earning so much money in the game of real estate. You take a Brian Burnett, and he's on track for $4 million this year. I mean, you may say, my gosh, I can't even get my brain around something like that. That's just absurd. I'm just trying to pay some bills. I'm trying to make just a little bit of money here. How did they do that? Well, how did a Tina Hare, when I met her, was earning, 6, 7, 800 grand, and last year she earned 3.2 million? How does that happen? How does that come together? How do you earn those type of dollars? How do you make the mental shift going from whatever that baseline is for you? Maybe it's 100 grand, 50 grand, 200 grand. How do you jump beyond that? And the question I've asked for years, and this is a key one here, is it luck? Well, no. Is it chance? Maybe a little bit here and there by who you may talk to. But what's the fundamental? Is it luck? Is it chance? No, it's preparation. It's the activities and the things that we do to be our best in front of people. But here's the thing that I find so interesting. I meet Brian Burnett and joins the company when he's earning $500,000 a year, which is just 5, 6 years ago. I meet Tina Hare 6.5 years ago. She now makes over 3 million. Brian makes over 4 million. I meet Jessica Terry. She's barely earning 100,000. She came out of being a paralegal, and till last year, she made well over 800,000. I meet a Kathleen Bruno who had never earned more than 200 grand in selling real estate. Last year, she made 1.4 million. The list goes on and on. When I met Amy Clark, she was doing 7 or 8 deals a year. I don't even remember what her income was, but it was 7 or 8 deals a year. Last year, she made well over $600,000. So what is it about the leaps and the jumps that these people seem to make that others at times struggle and battle just to survive? What is it that they're doing? How do you go from such a low income to such extraordinary incomes that are certainly well beyond just survival, way beyond just getting by, way beyond just paying the power bill, the gas bill, putting some gas in the car, eating a little bit of food, having a nice little meal at a restaurant, having a few nice vacations a year? Way beyond that they've gone. How do you do that? How do you foster and create such discipline to go out and to live the dreams that you're destined to live, that you know deep within yourself, deep within your soul, that you know that you're supposed to be there, that you're supposed to have these things, to achieve these things, to create these things? What takes them to the next level? Whereas you may be in that space where you're just surviving. You might feel like you're even struggling. You feel like, man, can I make this happen? Can I really be that one who shows up, steps forward, and is able to live your dreams? I appreciated a conversation not too long ago that I got to hear in an interview with an Ed Milet, who I'm a huge fan of. And I listened to him, and he said, someone in your family will show up. Someone will be the one. And he goes on to ask, are you the one? Are you the one who changes the whole course of economics in your family? Are you the one who sets a new standard for the way in which you live and the things in which you do? Are you the one who steps forward to help your siblings, to help your parents, to help the aging people in your family, to help the people who weren't as successful? Because you changed the course of history because you were the one. And man, that resonated with me. That made all the sense in the world to me. And I had to ask myself, man, am I that one? Well, I like to believe I am that one. I like to believe that any child of any parent should believe that they're that one. And maybe you come from a family of people who are highly successful, but what about your part? What about you being the one today? What about you stepping forward? Not only for others to be that one to change the course of history because you showed up, but what about you changing your own course of history, changing your own future, changing what you want your life to be, what it looks like, and where you're going? And what if at the end of all of it, good markets, bad markets, challenging markets, whatever it is, that you step forward and everything is better because you showed up? Look, this world is not in need of another salesperson. No one needs to be sold something. They ultimately need to be led, and they need to be lifted, because as you climb the ladders of success, you pull up others with you. If your idea of success is to crush everybody around you so that you can rise on top of all of them, well, then I will tell you that that will be a very exhausting experience. I will tell you that you will always have a moment of your life where you're comparing yourself against others, which is not even the comparison you should be focused on. The great comparison is, what did you do in relationship to what you could have done? That is the ultimate measuring stick. What did you do in relationship to what you could have done? That's where you keep score. And that's where you begin to realize, wait a second here, I haven't arrived. I don't just know everything. Oh, that's right. Socrates said, learning is remembering. I got to remember a few things here. Well, wait a second here. You mean I'm complaining about the market, but I'm still not prospecting. I'm hoping that listings sell, but it's not a strategy for business at all. I'm hoping that a listing sells. Hope is not for real estate. Hope is about a strategy and a system to getting a property sold in a proper way. And when you don't have a property selling, take a step back. Stop this nonsense of pent up demand and the market will recover and we'll just sit on this and wait and see. There's not one indicator that you could look at and show me that the life of real estate is going to get better for a while. So if that's the case, let's be honest, let's be truthful, let's be bold, let's be a leader and tell the truth to our clients. Tell the truth that a listing needs to be reduced. Tell the truth that when there's no showings and no offers, they could be as much as 10% overpriced. If they're having showings and no offers, they're somewhere between 5 to 7% overpriced. And don't let months and weeks upon weeks go. No more than 2 weeks and you get that price adjusted. If you're in the upper end, great. Maybe you wait 3 or 4 weeks, but the majority of business is being done in not the upper end. So as you move through these fundamentals, ask yourself, what's going to be different? How is it going to be different? What are you going to do different that makes it to where you don't have to struggle in today's market? You don't have to battle the demons of this market. And some of you have so much capacity. As I'm looking at so many of your names here on this call today, and I'm looking at people with such extraordinary abilities, and yet they are squandered away because we choose to chase what we think is important at the moment instead of what we should be doing. So let's talk about 3 fundamentals I'm going to share with you. Here's the first one. Above all things, you need to talk to people. When I say above all things, it needs to become unacceptable that there is a day that goes by that you are not speaking, conversing, talking, and communicating in a large fashion with people. See, the common thread when people are struggling. So let's take the Jessicas, the Amy's, the Tinas, the Bryans, and others, Brian Noel, Brian Burnett, whatever, all of them. When they're in a struggle, what becomes clear and evident is that they are not doing what got them to the great wealth and abundance that they have. And I can tell you what it is. They stopped communicating with people. Now, they may have all the reasons in the world. It's been busy. People were calling me. I had so many deals. I went on vacation. I don't care what the answers that they give as to why it's happening. What is relevant is that it's not happening. And that's what becomes relevant. So if you are moving through your day thinking that it's okay to not prospect, that it's okay to not talk to several people every day, minimum standard, 30 plus people a day. You may say, well, George, that could take me 3-4 hours. Yes, it could. Call your sphere. Call Just Listed, Just Sold. Call for sale by owners. Call expireds. Call internet leads. But talk with people and get serious about the fundamental. So what happens when I talk to these great agents I've been mentioning? All that happens is when they're a little bit off, I go, oh, when did you change the idea that you weren't going to be prospecting? And over the years, I've had many agents who have been successful. They walk into my office and I'll do the same thing to them. And they'll say, well, I thought I had arrived. I thought I'd gotten past the idea that I didn't have to prospect. We are not in the retail business, ladies and gentlemen. And yet everybody tries to make real estate a retail business. Well, what is retail? Retail is when you sit on you know what, and you wait for people to show up, right? It's walking into the Nordstroms, or it's walking into the Dillards. It's walking into Target. And you say, well, I kind of like that when people call me. I totally agree. It is a wonderful thing when people call you, but it's not controllable. Remember that. It's not controllable. See, you should get to a point in your career where you know that if you speak to a certain number of people, you know that good things are going to happen, meaning you'll get leads, you'll set appointments under a certain number of contacts, and you'll just keep raising your skill set up so that you can win this game. Now, look, I could be all happy-go-lucky for you and say, oh, don't worry about calling. Don't worry about prospecting. It's not a big deal. Wait for those guys to call you. You go sit in an open house and wait for people to show up. You go send them a flyer, send them an email. You wait for them to call you. Oh, don't get too engaging. Just send them a text, send them a postcard. Don't get too involved. Wait for them to call you. Now, here's the problem with that, is what we do is we allow rejection to rule our world. Now, think about this for a second on rejection. Listen to this closely, guys. Now, some of you are driving around listening to me. Listen closely. We don't prospect because we don't want to be rejected and turned down. But then we never call those people. So then the people who we believe are going to reject us don't even know if they are rejecting us, but we believe they're rejecting us. So we don't prospect because by chance we might get rejected. But the people who we never talk to, never speak to, never do business with are the very people who are controlling our future. Now think about that. That group of people that you will never speak to, talk to, you know, you'll be rejected at times by them. Those are the people that are controlling your destiny. They're controlling your dreams. They're controlling your goals. They're controlling everything you want your life to look like. All of it. And they're doing it, and you never even spoke to them anyway. Once you get the business maturity to recognize that speaking, conversing, and talking with people on a daily basis is your job, that when you recognize that you are in the direct sales business, not retail, direct sales, you make calls, you send out texts, you do videos, you knock on doors. And they say, well, wait a second here. That seems kind of tough. I'd rather just do an open house and hope and pray. Hope that someone shows up. Hope. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to live my life that way. I'm not willing to let, early, especially out of my career, 5 young kids and hope that deals would happen with 5 kids and a beautiful wife to take care of and to make sure that they were well cared for. I wasn't going to just hope that someone called me, hope that someone walked into the open house, hope that someone called off of my email or my text, or hope that someone calls me because I left a flyer on their front door, but I didn't talk to them. Hope. That's what you're leaving it up to. I want you to think about that. People probably offending half of you right now, but I'm telling you, get off this bandwagon of hoping the market gets better, hoping deals are going to happen, hoping that life is going to be easier. That's not how it works. You want life to get easier, you need to get better. You want more deals to happen, don't hope that deals happen, make deals happen by going out and making them happen. As a single fundamental, every single day, you need to set an appointment. You need to craft an environment around you, your business model, to where you prospect on a daily basis. I sit down with agents like I did last week. They're like, I need to advertise more. I need to spend more money. I'm like, whoa, time out. When was the last time you went out and knocked doors? They looked at me and said, I hate you, like more as a joke. And I said, what got you to the point of success that you have? Well, what got you to the point of success that you have is you talk to people on a regular basis with you and your team. When was the last time you did that? And with a big sigh, they said, you know what, you're right. I can't even remember the last time I've done that. Exactly. The fundamentals are what protect you in good markets and bad markets. The challenge with fundamentals is that they get skewed in good markets. When the market makes it shift, if there's ever a moment that I could give you to encourage you, get back to the fundamentals. Put minimum standards down to how many calls you'll make, minimum standards to how many contacts you'll make, minimum standards to how many hours you truly will be on a phone or knocking on doors. Don't cheat yourself. Don't run away from the very things that will give you everything that you desire and everything you want your life to become. Don't cheat yourself. Because of a couple of hours of prospecting every day, you could live your dreams, or you could cheat yourself, not do it, and not live your dreams. And give yourself the excuse of, I was so busy, I'm so distracted, I have this problem, I have that problem, I couldn't because I had to do this deal and that deal and make these calls, and I'll do it tomorrow. But every day that you delay, not speaking, conversing, and talking with people on a regular and consistent basis is one more day away from the realization of what's possible for you. So number one, prospect. I'm going to give you the second one. If there was ever a time in today's world and today's history, you must protect and you must elevate your mindset. Protect it, insulate it, and grow it, build it. Build your mindset. You say, well, George, what do you mean by that? What I mean is you do everything to protect it based on the people you spend your time with, what you read, what you study, right? All of these factors. Over these years, I used to talk about this, and people would say, well, I'm not watching the news and I'm not hanging out with bad, wrong, or negative people. I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. So there is certainly a list that you could make of things that you should not be doing, but I'm more interested in what you are going to be doing or are doing. Meaning when you say, I don't listen to talk radio, okay, but now what have you replaced it with and what do you listen to? Okay, I don't hang out with negative people and people who are like poison to my life. Okay, but who do you now hang out with so that you're not around that poison? When you hear yourself responding to your children or your parenting or your spouse or your lover or your partner and the way in which you communicate, and you say things like, well, that's just who I am. When did you make the decision that you can't change, you can't improve, that you can't become better? And who convinced you that you're just who you are and that's how you are, so you have to always be that way? It's nonsense. You want to improve something in your life, you want to speak better, communicate better, love better, heal better, create more, and be better at all of it, make a decision that you will and start moving and crafting your life towards the person that you're destined to become. Because that's the key to your success. That's who you need to become. That's the power of the fundamentals. That when you start to shape your mindset, you start to take some action with your prospecting, like legit, and then all of a sudden you got some action in play, you got some skills in play, you got some mindset in play. All of a sudden you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And then you don't sit there and go, oh my gosh, what's going to go on with this market? You're like, I don't care what the market does. I'm not even really that worried about what rates are doing. All I care about is serving people, talking to people, helping people, and elevating their life because I showed up. And that's the beauty of when you're thriving versus surviving. And so in closing, I would just ask you, are you living a life of abundance? Do you truly believe that there is enough? Do you believe that there's an excess for you to be able to go have and to reap the beautiful benefits of your success? That there's not a shortage of homes that can be sold, and there's not a shortage of opportunity. Because when you start operating from a place of scarcity and there's not enough, and I had to have that deal, I had to have that deal. No, you didn't have to have any deal, because if you're doing enough prospecting, there's plenty of deals. There's always enough. So remember, coming from a place of abundance is a paramount part of the right mindset. Then number two, you got to go to work, like I was talking about. Make the appointments, talk to the people, keep that mind right, keep your actions right, keep your dreams right in front of you all times, and go for it. And I just want to do a special shout out to my dear friend, Wanda Allison, who I see on this call. Wanda is the epitome of never, or the example, and the fact that you see people who have such health struggles, and this woman comes back like she's the Energizer Bunny over and over again, working through it and building a life that she's destined to create. And so Wanda, special shout out to you. Keep up the great work. Keep kicking butt. make sure you quickly recover, and let's see you back here as soon as possible. And I just want to thank all of you. Look, this is not anything I have to say is not to be critical. I'm not here to tear anybody down. I'm not even here to make you wrong. But if you want to grow your business, or you want to thrive in your business, you want to dominate in your business, you want to become the best that you've ever been able to become in your business, then get serious about how you're approaching this business. Get serious about the fundamentals. And when you see someone serious about the fundamentals, they don't stop, they don't back off, they don't let the gas off the pedal. They keep forging forward, and they start living a life that you sit there and go, oh my gosh, I want a life just like theirs. Well, where did they get that life? They got that life because they mastered and created the disciplines in their life to have everything that this business can offer you. Guys, it is always a great privilege to work with you. And remember, change is inevitable. Life will always change for you. Progress is not. And I hope that you'll continue to progress. I hope you'll continue to grow your life, grow your business, grow your relationships, improve your health, and recognizing that there's never a day that you will have arrived. There's never a day that you can say, all right, I'm here, I don't need to work anymore. Because the moment you do that, you're going to flatline in life, because that means you're not growing. And when you're flatlining, you're dying. So have an extraordinary rest of this week. We're only on Monday. Let's go kick some butt. Let's go take some names. Let's go see what we're really capable of. Commit to yourself, commit to your dreams, live these fundamentals, and live a life that you're destined to live. All right? Have an extraordinary rest of the week, guys. It's my honor to be with you.